If you've been a follower of my channel for a while, you probably know the story of when I got to put a pie in my boss's face. This happened because I was asked to provide projections for what I thought the annual fund could raise. And my low-end projections came out 3 times higher than the annual fund had ever raised before, or at least in 10 plus years. And my boss was like, no, I want you to succeed. Revise these and do it just 10% more than they did last year. It'll be fine. And I said, these are my low-end projections and I stand by these. And by the end of the year, we had signed like a fun little contract. He said, I'll let you put a pie in my face if you do this. And if you want to see the picture, you can visit on my blog, which is realdealfundraising.com. Link in my bio. And it's all on there right now. It's the top story. And I was able to achieve it. We were able to achieve it as an office team. We brought in 3 times the amount that we ever had before. We got lots of new donors on board, re-engaged a lot of other donors, and we had the celebration where we put the pie in his face at the end of the year. And this really brings home to me the difference between projections, which is a predicted outcome based on data, versus goals, which oftentimes folks just reach up into the air and pull down a number that sounds good to them. Sometimes it's selected because you actually need that amount in your budget in order to meet your operating expenses. But it's still good to do projections in that situation because you'll be able to accurately say, this is what I think that we are going to be able to reach. And you can pinpoint shortfalls. You can see where you're going to come up short and you can be able to explain it. And then you can identify new opportunities. If what you're already planning on doing, the volume of work, the number of mailings you're sending out, the amount of people that you're meeting, if that's not enough, you can begin to identify new opportunities. And you might need more budgetary funding to do that. So it's going to allow you to advocate for resources more effectively. This is a super valuable skill for you to learn as a fundraiser. It's going to make you so effective, and you're going to be able to fully explain things and be able to advocate for more resources to do your job well. You're going to need a few things to build your projections step by step. It's not as hard as it sounds. Tools that you're going to need: Excel or some other spreadsheet software, Google Sheets, whatever. Historical data. What have mailings like what you're going to do performed like before? What have you raised on digital marketing before? What have you raised on average as major gifts before? What kind of levels have you been looking at? And how you want to segment the data. You're going to have to think that through. Are you going to do like a traditional last year donors, also known as Libunts, and some year, meaning 2 to 5 years ago they made their last gift, Sibunts? How are you going to organize this? So you need to have an idea about your segmentation. You need your historical data, and you need a spreadsheet software. That's really all in order to get started, okay? So we're going to walk through. You're going to have the segments that you're going to look at. So you need to figure out, how many Libunts do you have this year? How many people who gave last year but not this year? How many people are in the Sibunt category, like they gave a gift 2 to 5 years ago but not yet this year? How many non-donors do you have in your database? How many lapsed, etc.? And then you need to analyze those past trends from the historical data, like what was the average response rate? What was the average gift size for those particular groups that you're going to be looking at? And you don't have to be super duper exact. You just need to get like rough ballpark images here, or estimates, right? Then you're going to calculate the expected dollars raised, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second, and then add up the segments to get your overall projection for something like that. Now I'm going to show you a very quick and easy example. So this might look intimidating, but it's actually fairly simple. So we have our Libunts where we're estimating we have 1,156 that we can send letters to. Looking back at our historic response rates, we have about 8% response rate. Maybe one year you had 6, one year you had 9, etc., and you average it out to be about 8. Then you have your total gifts. That's a formula you set up in the spreadsheet, and you get 92 gifts from that group. And if your average gift that you think you can attain for that particular group is about 135, I don't know why that little thing is there, but yeah, you'll get a particular amount. And you can see this whole thing much better on my blog. So check out to find the full thing, and it's fully illustrated there. Then if your Sibunt, you have fewer of those, maybe 567 at a 4% response rate, and then your total gifts are going to be 24. times a lower average gift, right, for folks that haven't been giving as recently, is going to give you a Y amount, and then you're going to have a total amount of $14,500 or so dollars, and then 117 gifts. So that's really how you're going to go about setting these projections. Now, the more segments you have, the more complicated the program is, or if you're trying to project for the entire year, you're going to have to look at different forms of media, different vehicles for solicitation, and include those as well as include more segments. But this is the same process nonetheless. You just build it all brick by brick, making educated guesses along the way. So you put together some wonderful projections and goal setting, and then you turn it in and you put it on the shelf until the last quarter of the year to see if you're close to reaching your goal, right? No. I hope not, because you put a lot of effort into those. And if you've built those projections right, they can be a powerful tool for you throughout the year. They should really be a living document that you are checking in with regularly. And I'm going to explain to you why that's so valuable. You need to be conducting regular projections versus actuals. So at least quarterly, maybe monthly, looking at how much you've raised through the different vehicles for fundraising that you've been utilizing, that you built projections on. And you're going to see whether you're up or down versus those different categories, the different segments. Are your live bunts performing really well, but your side bunts are underperforming, right? Is direct mail doing really well, but email is lagging this year? Whatever it is, right? So doing these regular check-ins are extremely valuable because you're going to be able to use this data for problem solving. And you can say, look, we're not doing great with this particular unit or this particular appeal. Maybe we can make it up in this other area. Or maybe here's a strategy where we feel like we can course correct halfway through the year and maybe throw in another form of solicitation or a challenge match or something else that might be more motivating for your donors. It also allows you to celebrate wins in order to boost morale as you move through the year and informs your future strategy. So if you're doing really well, you can lean into certain things that are going well and do more of that throughout the year. So it allows you to course correct both positively and negatively in order to maximize results for your nonprofit. If you needed any more reason as to why you should build really strong projections for your fundraising results so that you know how much you can raise throughout the year, even if you have a different overarching goal at your organization, this is still going to be very valuable for you. You can use it to empower yourself as the expert in your program. This is called predictive modeling, and it isn't scary. It's going to make you the absolute expert on your fundraising program, because once you build those projections, you're going to understand your program at such a deep level. You're going to understand it segment by segment, participation rate by average gift for every single type of donor that you have. And then when you look at the program and the results that you're having throughout the year, you're going to easily be able to explain why you are or are not doing well with that particular group of people. And that's going to allow you to create that roadmap where you can move towards success and adapt dynamically throughout the year. This is the most valuable skill that a fundraiser can have, especially if you're in like the annual giving, direct solicitation world. So do you have a process already for setting projections? How does your nonprofit set goals? And are they goals or are they projections? Because those are slightly different. A goal is a desired outcome. A projection is a predictive outcome, whether you think you can actually get there. So let me know in the comments how your nonprofit approaches this or how you've seen it approached in your career.